Hello, I'm Nini Kalamba, the founder of The Blossom Effect. Welcome to our YouTube channel and podcast. I'm so happy to finally bring this vision to life. It's been a long time coming, but we're finally here. So, The Blossom Effect is a platform that I launched last year, June 2024, and the mission is to ideally equip young women, older women at times as well, to be able to build their self esteem and their self confidence and essentially identify their God given purpose and spend the rest of their lives fulfilling that purpose. So, the question that I often get is, what brought the Blossom Effect into play? I think the most pivotal moment for me was my senior year of undergrad. I was feeling very low, possibly going through depression, but didn't know it at the time. I was struggling with low self esteem, but I couldn't identify it as such at the time because it was covered up with what I would say is some doses of high level self confidence. So, self esteem is where you grapple with your value, you don't truly appreciate yourself, you don't understand what your value is, and don't live your life in a way that ascertains that value. Whereas your self confidence, it's you being able to identify and realize what your strengths, your capabilities are, and to live your life being able to fully utilize those. I was someone who understood what I was capable of doing. I understood my strengths and I was able to use them in different avenues. But I didn't truly value myself. And this was reflective in the relationships that I was in, whether platonic or romantic. So in my senior year of undergrad, I was often low, unhappy. After coming back to my dorm room, after coming back to my room from hanging out with friends, I was sad. I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I was generally unhappy. So this went on for a while, and I reached a point where I felt like enough was enough. I told myself that I wanted to be able to live my life in a way that God intended for me to live because I truly did believe in the depths of my heart that the way I was living and the mission that God had placed me on this earth for was not going to come to pass if I continued down the path that I was on. So eventually, senior year of undergrad kept going. We kept on with the trend. But when I came home, I think the relationship that I was in was kind of the breaking point for me. I made a decision to end that relationship, to cut certain ties with friends, and I told myself that I wanted to live my life wholly and fully for Christ. So during one of my work field trips, I was in my room after work and I just broke down and wept. I had had enough. I was tired of the unhappiness. I was tired of the relationships that were not serving me. And I wanted to be able to have people identify me with a woman who truly feared God, a woman who truly loved God, and a woman whose life embodies everything that the ideal Proverbs 30, the ideal Proverbs 31 woman. So after that moment, I felt a whole lot of peace. Making that turning point, making that decision to live for Christ was the beginning of a very beautiful journey for me. Now, was that the moment where I started living within my purpose? Not necessarily. It did help me, however, break the circles that I needed to break and put myself in spaces that would uplift me, build relationships that would steer me closer to Christ, and ultimately live a life that presented that Proverbs 31 ideal that I was kind of targeting and seeking. Now, I started taking on leadership positions in church, putting myself in different event committees that would help me to exercise my strengths, my passions. So this was kind of my journey of unearthing who I was, identifying what my values are, my passions, figuring out which type of direction would I want to go in. At the same time, career-wise, I was excelling. It was something that I enjoyed, it was something that I was great at, it was something that I was being recognized for in the firm, and all that was great. But still, there was that sort of emptiness, right? Now, this brings me to the essence of purpose. You could have your life going all nice and dandy. You have great relationships, platonic, romantic relationships. You're excelling in your career, you're excelling in your studies, but you still go home and you feel like something is missing. That's what it was for me. I was excelling in my career, but I still felt like this is not necessarily what God has called me to do and to achieve on this earth. So, me being self aware at that stage, I knew what my strengths were. And as I was on this journey of discovering who I was, I would read certain books. One of the books was Becoming a Person of Influence by John C. Maxwell. And another that I've recently finished was Living a Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. And what I love about these books is they give you the opportunity to be able to reflect all those questions throughout the book, the prompts, that exercises that you have at the end of each chapter. I would write these down in my diary. And if I look back at the diary that I've held since 2016, 2017, every single dream, vision that I had for myself then reflects the person that I am now and the person that I still strive to be 10 years from now. So I would say that that has been the journey for me with regards to identifying my purpose. And the blossom effect has been that specific avenue through which I see myself being able to bring that vision, that purpose to life. So, because I know first with a first-hand experience that the one thing that holds us back from being able to live our full potential and to be able to live the life that God had destined for us is because we grapple with the self doubt, the self worth that we don't have or we can't identify. We tend to see ourselves through the lenses of other individuals' eyes. And if they don't see us as someone of worth, if they don't see us as someone who should be respected or someone who deserves goodness, deserves love, deserves recognition, and all those great stuff, we tend to hold ourselves back. If you don't know what your strengths are, if you don't know what your capabilities are, you're not able to live your life in a way that truly reflects that. And so I know through discussions I've held with individuals, through the things I've seen, through people in my circles or people who I just come across, whether at church, workplace, that this is a common problem. We struggle to live our lives fully because we don't have a sense of self-worth, we don't have confidence, and therefore we cannot see ourselves through the eyes of God and see the vision that God has for our lives. This is why I created the Blossom Effect. I want to be able to help women who are experiencing whatever I experienced through my undergrad year and years after that, and to tell them that they're not alone. The experiences that they're having are not exclusive to them. Everyone goes through this, but there are certain tools that you need to be able to build and utilize in your life if you truly want to be able to overcome that and live a life that glorifies God and live a life of maximum impact. So how does the Blossom Effect achieve this mission? One of the ways that we do this is through events. So last year in June 2024, we had our launch event. And this is something that we hope to carry on each year and make it an annual event, a seminar or a conference, obviously wanting to do bigger and better things each year, building community, ensuring that women are able to see themselves through other women, older, younger than them, who are achieving and doing things that they aspire to achieve and do as well. And also just share knowledge, share insights, share their challenges to inspire and give hope to another individual. We also do have the Purpose Coaching Program. I sit with whomever needs this particular service one on one. I know that we can tell you what needs to be done, but for you to be able to do that can be a challenge. So I'm available to work with individuals. It's a 3-month program at a reasonable fee. I'll walk you through building your self esteem, building your self confidence, giving you the tools to help you sustain that and have healthy levels of each of these components in your life, and ultimately set goals to help you achieve your purpose and live a life that reflects that particular purpose. Another thing that we do have is the Purpose Workbook and Planner. This is something that we launched as well last year in June 2024. But the version that we launched then, I would say, was just a starter pack because it didn't really reflect the vision that I had. And I just needed something to show people what we could possibly deliver. But the version that we do have now, will show you in a bit, is really something that I'm so proud to call my own. It's truly my passion project, my baby. It's a love letter from me to whomever might read it, use it. And this is something that the workbook part of it will help you to be able to unearth your three W's. So the Blossom Effect has three pillars that we call the three W's. The first being your worth, the second one being your why, and this speaks to unearthing your purpose. And the third one is your way. This is about the action plan that will help you to be able to achieve your particular purpose. And the last aspect of the workbook and planner is the actual planner of it. So it's a 52-week planner. We have the 2025 and 2026 calendar, and you're just able to jot down whatever plans you have, make sure that you make the necessary steps to achieve the goals that you'd set out. And then we also have a brain dump aspect. I think it's important to always have some space to doodle, scribble, write down whatever notes or thoughts that might come to you through the course of your days. Um, what else? Other services that we do plan on offering, we're about to launch a holistic student development program. So, this is something where we're going to be able to deliver workshops in high schools or secondary schools, career guidance, leadership, stress management, all that jazz. And we also do plan on launching holiday camps for children. And I think this is something that is very important and I truly love because we tend to find that the whole question of what is my purpose? What do I want to do with my life? These are questions you ask yourself from maybe your late 20s or mid 20s of your life. But this is something that we need to instill in our children from the very young age. When they're growing up, they should be able to think along the lines of what do I want to achieve? What is the impact I'd like to make on this earth? Why did God create me and what does He want me to do? So these holiday camps are going to be targeted for children where they can learn to dabble here and there, different skills, figure out what they like, what they don't like, what they do like, they can grow. And ultimately, we have children who are well aware of who they are and what they want to achieve. So, what can you expect from our YouTube channel and podcast? Essentially, we just want to share. We're going to share insights, experiences, whether it's me sitting down with you one on one, or I have guests over, be it a man or a woman, and we just talk about how best we can thrive and live our lives fulfilling the purpose that God has given each and every single one of us. We're going to start it off with the first season, which has 6 to 7 episodes. We're going to talk about self discipline, self esteem, self confidence, identifying your purpose, having actionable goals, and also thriving financially. What good is a purpose if you can't fund it, finance it, if it drains you financially, or if it can't help you live a financially stable life? So please, if you want to grow, if you want to win, if you want to learn how best you can thrive in your purpose, like this channel, share, subscribe. Please share the videos that come, like the podcast, follow, do all that jazz. So happy to have you here and looking forward to see you and build this community. Bye.